The crisis at Kepler Station. The alarm bells rang loud across the Galactic Research Station Kepler 442. Red lights flashed in every hallway as scientists ran from room to room with fear in their eyes. Something was very wrong. Dr. Hyun looked up from his computer screen. He was the only human working on the station, surrounded by alien creatures who moved with unprecedented urgency. The tall blue Vex people shook their heads in distress, while the rock-like Korak beings made angry rumbling sounds. Even the normally composed Thalan creatures looked genuinely scared. "What's happening?" Dr. Hyun asked a Vex scientist who rushed past him. "The mining facility on Titan 7, the alien replied without stopping. "They found something terrible. Something that kills." Dr. Hyun stood up and walked to the main meeting room. Inside, Commander Hyun was addressing a group of alien scientists. The Centauri commander, with his green skin and 4 powerful arms, looked deeply upset. 12 of our security personnel are dead, Commander Hyun announced, his voice heavy with worry. 3 of our best scientists are also dead. The creature killed them all. Dr. Hyun sat in the back, listening as Commander Hyun described the horror. The miners on Titan 7 had been digging deep into the planet when they unearthed something that should have remained buried. The creature stands 8 feet tall, Commander Hyun explained. It has scales that shimmer like crystal, and its teeth drip with corrosive acid. We call it the Ravager because it destroys everything it touches. A Vex scientist raised her hand. We tried to control its mind, she said, her voice trembling. Our best telepaths went insane. The creature's thoughts are too wild and violent. A Thalan creature spoke next, his musical voice now carrying notes of despair. We attempted to contain it with energy fields. The creature broke through them like paper, then melted our equipment with its acid. Dr. Hyun watched as more aliens shared their failures. The mighty Korak warriors had been thrown around like toys. The sophisticated Maxan robots had been torn apart effortlessly. Every species has tried, Commander Hyun said grimly. Every species has failed. The creature is now trapped in the main chamber of the mining facility, but it won't stay there long. The containment walls weaken daily. Dr. Hyun raised his hand. What happens if it escapes? Commander Hyun's eyes filled with dread. If it gets out, it will kill everyone on Titan 7. Then it might find a way to other planets. We cannot allow that to happen. The room fell silent as the weight of their situation settled over them. The desperate decision. The meeting room remained heavy with despair as the alien scientists grappled with their impossible situation. A massive Korak being stood up, his voice rumbling like falling rocks. We have tried everything, he declared. Our warriors, our weapons, our technology, nothing works. The creature is too intelligent, added a Thalan. It learns from each attack, grows stronger with every attempt to fight it. Dr. Hyun listened as the aliens, some of the most advanced beings in the galaxy with technology humans could only dream of, admitted defeat against a single creature. Their desperation was palpable. Commander Hyun looked around the room with weary eyes. We need someone to try again. Someone must go to the facility and attempt to contain the creature. Silence stretched uncomfortably. The aliens studied the floor, the walls, anything but each other's faces. They had witnessed the fate of those who had tried before. Then the massive Korak pointed directly at Dr. Hyun. Send the human. All eyes turned to the lone human researcher. Dr. Hyun felt his heart race as dozens of alien gazes fixed upon him. The human? Questioned a Vex. But humans are so weak. They have no special powers. Exactly, rumbled the Korak. We have tried all the strong species. We have tried all the intelligent species. Perhaps we should try a weak species. Dr. Hyun felt a flash of anger but kept his expression neutral. He knew what the aliens thought of humans, primitive, unintelligent, useful only for menial tasks. The human cannot succeed where we have failed, protested a Thalan. But then he paused, consideration creeping into his musical voice. But perhaps that is precisely why the human should try. Commander Hyun looked directly at Dr. Hyun. Dr. Hyun, will you go to the mining facility? Will you attempt to contain the creature? Dr. Hyun considered the request carefully. He knew the danger was extreme, knew he might die just like the others. The creature had killed beings far stronger and more advanced than himself. But someone had to try. Someone had to stop it before more lives were lost. I will go, Dr. Hyun said quietly. The aliens looked genuinely surprised. They had expected refusal, expected fear to overcome duty. You understand, Commander Hyun said slowly, this creature has killed everyone who tried to stop it. You might not return. I understand, Dr. Hyun replied. But I will try. The Korak made a sound resembling laughter. The little human thinks he can accomplish what we could not. Dr. Hyun stood up calmly. Maybe I cannot do what you could not do. But maybe I can do something different. An unusual preparation. Commander Hyun nodded with newfound respect. What do you need? Dr. Hyun thought carefully. The aliens expected him to request weapons, armor, shields, or powerful technology, the same tools that had already failed. I need some food, Dr. Hyun said. Fresh water, some basic tools, and time to prepare. The aliens looked confused. Food? Water? Tools? This was not what they had anticipated. No weapons? Commander Hyun asked, incredulous. No weapons, Dr. Hyun confirmed. The meeting ended with murmurs of bewilderment. As the aliens filed out, they whispered among themselves in their native languages. They thought the human had lost his mind. They expected him to die within minutes of encountering the creature. Dr. Hyun remained in the room alone, gazing out at the stars through the massive viewport. Tomorrow he would travel to Titan 7. Tomorrow he would face the creature that had terrorized the galaxy's finest minds. He was frightened, certainly, but he was also curious. Maybe the aliens were right. Maybe he would fail like all the others. But maybe, just maybe, he could find a different approach. The next day, Dr. Hyun stood outside the reinforced metal door that contained the Ravager. His hands held only a simple bag containing food, water, and a few small objects. No weapons, no armor, no protective shields. Commander Hyun stood beside him, anxiety evident in his forearmed posture. Are you certain about this? You can still change your mind. Dr. Hyun looked at the massive door. He could hear something moving inside, something large that made scraping sounds against the metal walls, sounds that spoke of immense strength and barely contained fury. I'm sure, Dr. Hyun said. Commander Hyun pressed several buttons on a control panel. The door made a loud grinding noise and began to open. Red warning lights flashed as an automated voice echoed from speakers in the walls, warning, dangerous creature contained inside. Do not enter without proper protection. Dr. Hyun stepped forward. Commander Hyun grabbed his arm gently. The observation room is right there, the commander pointed to a reinforced window above them. We will monitor you. If something goes wrong, we will attempt to help. Dr. Hyun nodded, though they both knew the truth. If the creature wanted to kill him, he would die. The aliens had already tried to help the others, it hadn't worked. The door opened completely. Dr. Hyun walked inside, and his first impression was of overwhelming size. The containment room was enormous, like a warehouse, but constructed of the strongest metals known to galactic science. Deep scratches covered every surface, gouges that revealed the creature's terrible strength. Some scratches cut through the metal as if it were soft wood. At first, Dr. Hyun didn't see the creature. Then he heard it, slow, heavy breathing from the far corner of the room. The encounter. The creature stepped out of the shadows, and Dr. Hyun understood why the photographs hadn't conveyed its true terror. The Ravager was massive, every bit of 8 feet tall, but seemed even larger in the confined space. Its body was covered in scales that caught the light like faceted crystals, beautiful and deadly. Acid dripped steadily from its razor-sharp teeth, hissing when it hit the metal floor. But what struck Dr. Hyun most were the creature's eyes. They weren't the mindless eyes of a beast. They were intelligent, alert, and filled with something he hadn't expected: pain. The Ravager snarled and took a step forward, its claws scraping against the metal floor. Dr. Hyun could feel the malevolent energy radiating from it, the same chaotic mental force that had driven telepaths insane. Instead of running or raising a weapon, Dr. Hyun did something no one expected. He sat down on the floor, cross-legged, and opened his bag. The creature stopped, clearly confused by this unexpected behavior. "You must be hungry," Dr. Hyun said calmly, pulling out a container of food. "I brought you something to eat." The Ravager tilted its massive head, studying the small human with curiosity rather than rage. Dr. Hyun opened the container, revealing fresh meat, not processed rations, but real food he had specifically requested from the station's kitchens. He placed the container on the floor between them and slid it gently toward the creature. Then he pulled out a second container and began eating his own meal, as casually as if he were having lunch in a park. The Ravager approached cautiously, sniffed the offering, then devoured it hungrily. When it finished, it looked at Dr. Hyun with less hostility. "The others tried to fight you," Dr. Hyun said conversationally. "They tried to control you, trap you, hurt you. But you're not really a monster, are you? You're just scared and alone." The creature made a low rumbling sound, not quite a growl but not friendly either. Dr. Hyun pulled out a small device, not a weapon, but a music player. Soft, gentle melodies filled the air. The Ravager's aggressive posture relaxed slightly. "I've been studying the reports," Dr. Hyun continued. "You've been underground for thousands of years, maybe longer. Suddenly you're awakened by strange beings with weapons and restraints. No wonder you fought back." For the next several hours, Dr. Hyun simply sat there, occasionally offering food or water, sometimes playing music, but mostly just being present. He spoke to the creature about Earth, about humans, about loneliness and fear. Gradually, incredibly, the Ravager began to calm. Its breathing became less labored, its posture less threatening. When Dr. Hyun stood up slowly, the creature didn't attack. When he approached carefully, it allowed him to come near. "You understand me, don't you?" Dr. Hyun whispered. "Not my words, maybe, but my intentions." The Ravager made a sound almost like purring. For the first time since its awakening, it wasn't alone. The unexpected bond. In the observation room above, the alien scientists watched in stunned silence. Commander Yon's 4 arms hung limp at his sides as he witnessed something impossible. The galaxy's most dangerous creature was calm, peaceful even, in the presence of a single unarmed human. "How is this possible?" whispered a Vex scientist. "We tried everything," muttered a Korak warrior. "Force, technology, mind control. But we never tried understanding," Commander Yon said quietly. Below, Dr. Hyun continued his patient interaction with the Ravager. He had discovered that the creature responded to simple gestures of kindness and respect. When he offered it water, it drank carefully. When he played music, it listened intently. When he spoke, it seemed to hang on every word, even if it couldn't understand the language. On the third day, something extraordinary happened. Dr. Hyun was sitting beside the creature, sharing his lunch as had become their routine, when the Ravager made a new sound. It was soft, almost musical, and clearly deliberate. "Are you trying to talk to me?" Dr. Hyun asked. The creature repeated the sound, then touched Dr. Hyun's shoulder gently with one massive claw. The gesture was unmistakably affectionate. Dr. Hyun smiled. "I think that's your word for friend, isn't it?" The Ravager made the sound again, then did something that shocked everyone watching. It lowered its great head and nuzzled against Dr. Hyun's hand, like a giant pet seeking affection. Over the following days, the transformation was remarkable. The creature that had terrorized an entire star system became docile and friendly in Dr. Hyun's presence. It followed him around the containment room, protected him from anything it perceived as a threat, and seemed genuinely happy for the first time since its awakening. Commander Hyun eventually entered the room himself, accompanied by other alien scientists. The Ravager tensed initially but remained calm when Dr. Hyun introduced them as friends. "This is incredible," Commander Hyun said. "How did you know this would work?" Dr. Hyun scratched behind the creature's crystalline scales, earning a contented rumble. "I didn't know it would work. But I realized something the rest of you missed. You all focused on what the creature could do, its strength, its intelligence, its weapons. But you never asked what it needed." "And what did it need?" asked a Thalan scientist. "What every intelligent being needs," Dr. Hyun replied. "Companionship, understanding, and respect." It was scared and alone, lashing out because it didn't know how else to communicate. The Ravager made its special sound again and gently touched Dr. Hyun's face with its claw. The gesture was so tender that several of the watching aliens felt moved to tears. "It's trying to say something else now," Dr. Hyun said, listening carefully to the creature's vocalizations. I think it's calling me Boss Dad." The aliens stared in amazement as the galaxy's most feared creature, the one that had killed 15 beings and terrorized entire worlds, nuzzled against a human researcher and made sounds of contentment. "So what happens now?" Commander Hyun asked. Dr. Hyun looked at his unlikely friend, who was now resting its massive head in his lap like an enormous, scaly cat. "Now we find it a proper home. Somewhere it can be happy and safe, where it doesn't have to be afraid anymore." The Ravager purred, a sound that vibrated through the metal walls. It looked up at Dr. Hyun with eyes full of trust and affection, then made its special sound again, the one that meant, Boss Dad. In the end, it wasn't superior technology or overwhelming force that solved the galaxy's greatest crisis. It was one human's simple recognition that even the most dangerous creatures sometimes just need someone to understand them. The creature that had once been called the Ravager was relocated to a peaceful planet where it could roam freely. Dr. Hyun visited regularly, and each time, the creature would make its happy sound and nuzzle against him like a beloved pet greeting its favorite person. The other species of the galaxy learned something valuable that day: sometimes the greatest strength isn't the ability to fight, but the wisdom to know when not to fight at all. And Dr. Hyun? He became something of a legend, the human who tamed the untamable, not through force, but through the simple power of compassion and understanding. The end.